Morning, everyone. Greetings. Us too. Good morning, students, faculty, friends, Board of Education members, most importantly, veterans, and welcome to Nathan Hale-Ray High School's celebration of Veterans Day. On the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month of 1918, the war to end all wars came to an end. President Wilson proclaimed the first Armistice Day with the following words, quote, "To us in America, the reflections of Armistice Day will be filled with solemn pride in the heroism of those who died in the country's service, and with gratitude for the victory, both because of the thing from which it has freed us, and because of the opportunity it has given America to show her sympathy with peace and justice in the councils of the nations," end quote. Armistice came to be a day to honor those who died in the Great War. On June 1st, 1954, President Eisenhower signed legislation changing the name of the legal holiday from Armistice Day to Veterans Day, honoring those who served and continue to serve through World War II and Korea. Today, we proudly celebrate Veterans Day in honor of all men and women who have served and who continue to serve our great country. We are privileged to have several members of the Nathan Hale-Ray High School family. Please join me in thanking Walter Parkus, Chris Lalo, and David Walter for their service to our country. Please turn your attention to the flag. Mrs. Evans and the members of the Trillium Choir. When Francis Scott Key wrote the Star-Spangled Banner, he called America the land of the free and the home of the brave. Those words are as true today as they were then. Throughout this nation's history, America's soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Coast Guardsmen have bravely answered the call to defend our freedom, to aid our friends and allies, and to turn back aggressors. We can never fully repay our debt of gratitude to the more than 650,000 American service members who died in battle, or the 1.4 million who were wounded. We can, however, recognize and thank the 25 million veterans still living today and their families that sacrifice along with them. These words are inscribed in the Korean War Memorial in Washington, D.C. Our nation honors her sons and daughters who answer the call to defend a country they never knew and a people they never met. Those words apply equally to many of our World War I, World War II, Vietnam, Gulf War, and other conflict veterans as well. They apply to today's active duty servicemen members and tomorrow's veterans. The price of freedom is high. We cannot afford to forget those willing to pay it. At this time, I would like to welcome to the podium East Hatham's First Selectman and United States Navy veteran, Mr. Emmeline.
Good morning. On behalf of the town of East Haddam, I want to thank you for this wonderful demonstration of support. And I want to mention, we have not just a history of those of us who are here now, but you go all the way back to the American Revolution, the Civil War, the War of 1812. Americans have always stepped forward when there was a need for their country. And more recently, what's happening in the Near East, what's going on all over the world, our veterans are there. They're doing the best they can to help us. And I have every confidence that many of you will stand up in the future and once again support America in their needs. Have a wonderful day.
Next, I would like to welcome someone who's joined us year after year to support Nathan Hale-Ray's efforts to support veterans. To say a few words, State Representative Melissa Chevron.
Good morning, everyone. It's always a pleasure to be here. And as you're sitting there shivering and we're all cold, I want you to think about the soldiers who are sleeping in the sand, who are freezing, who are sweating, who are really putting in the love of country for you every day. So as you're here shivering, honoring them, I want you to think about their sacrifice. And I can't help but be remiss and say, over the last few days, as a country, we have been tested in spirit. And I hope each of you will think about being in a state of thankfulness. I'm thankful. I'm thankful to live in America. And I'm thankful for those who have given everyone else the right of freedom of speech. And as you know, I talk often about a poem. I read it every year, and this year is no different. And this year, I'm even more thankful for those who have given us our rights. The poem is called "It is the Soldier." It is the soldier, not the minister, who has given us freedom of religion. It is the soldier, not the reporter, who has given us freedom of the press. It is the soldier, not the poet, who has given us freedom of speech. It is the soldier, not the campus organizer, who has given us freedom to protest. It is the soldier, not the lawyer, who has given us the right to a fair trial. It is the soldier, and not the politician, who has given us the right to vote. It is the soldier who salutes the flag, who serves beneath the flag, and whose coffin is draped by the flag, who allows the protester to burn the flag. And I will spend the rest of the day being thankful that I'm an American, and thankful for the soldiers, even from our own community, who continue to serve us overseas and around the country. Thank you.
Now, please join me in welcoming Hale-Ray Senior Claire Lavareda to give our opening address.
I'm going to begin this speech by stating the obvious. If I can fix the microphone. All right. It's Veterans Day, and you are standing here, undeniably alive, your heart beating in celebration simply because you exist. It is a gift whether or not you accept it, and it is a sacrifice that one day I hope we will all come to understand. We stand here today because of the men and women in our military who have fought for freedom for our country and for rights around the world. We stand here today because of those who currently serve, their bravery a throbbing vein in the core of our nation. And we stand here today for those who cannot stand with us, for those warriors who cannot come home, for the families that were handed a folded flag and told, "Thank you for the faithful service of your loved one." We stand here today not because it is expected or because we are students in a ceremony. We stand here today so that for even an instance, we can understand the weight of sacrifice. Today is a day that we can do more than reflect. Today is a day that we can take action. We can turn our respect into a living, breathing thing, and we can learn from the veterans here today. Rather than remain in our comfortable state of simple gratitude, we can look through the eyes of the men and women gathered here today and understand the depth of honor before us. Today today we do more than acknowledge. Today we are here because it's our turn to understand that our individuality, our freedom, our way of life is intertwined deeply with sacrifice. This past summer, I had the privilege to visit the United States Naval Academy and a summer program. We were taken out late at night to visit the Annapolis Cemetery. The walk took us winding through many headstones and several tombs until we reached the gravestone of Navy SEAL Eric Christensen, who was a lieutenant commander killed in Operation Red Wings. The experience was almost surreal. The way the moonlight softly lit the earth where the bodies of heroes were buried, the gentle sound of leaves rustling in stark contrast to the brutal truth that lay before us. It was only at the foot of this grave that the weight of sacrifice struck me. The realization that I had the ability to stand there, to walk the halls of school he once attended. The realization that I stood at the grave of a warrior who had once laughed and cried and fought until the end. I had never been so grateful to be alive until that moment. And it was in that moment that I realized we were all obligated to pay this gift back, that we are all obligated to uphold such a legacy. The fact that there are men and women who are willing to die for you without ever knowing your name, just to preserve your way of life, is an astonishing and beautiful revelation. Some of you may not yet understand why we're here. I'm sure there are many of you who'd rather have stayed home. I ask all of you today to take advantage of the opportunities here and a chance to understand why today is a day that is better spent with veterans. It is with our understanding of sacrifice that we can fully appreciate the celebration of life, and it is with our appreciation of veterans that we can truly develop. Today, I ask you to understand that our veterans are not nameless soldiers of wars or countries we do not know. I ask you to get to know our veterans as human beings, as individuals, and as heroes. With that in mind, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As you go about your day today, I ask that you remember why we're here. Because our freedom isn't free. It was paid for by the men and women who have and who continue to serve. At this time, please make your way back to E-Block class.
Oh my gosh.